Dear students, welcome to the online class of English Literature. The first lesson is Beauty and the Beast, Part 1. Children, before we move ahead, let's understand the meaning of a beast. A beast is an animal and usually not a gentle or attractive one. You can also call a person a beast when they are behaving in a horrible way. The Beauty and the Beast is a heartfelt story about the birth of love and the capability of love to transform the way you look at people you love. The story is about a woman who falls in love with a beast, thus transforming him. The beast is a beast in appearance and in many of his mannerisms, but on the inside he is actually kind. Beauty describes him in different parts of the story as very good-natured, humble, obliging and kind. Despite his outward appearance and mannerisms, Beauty ends up seeing his inner beauty and falls in love with him. When she realizes that she is in love with him, she comments how Beast has done so much to please her in everything. And while he may be ugly and have so little sense, he is instead kind and good. Now children, open your book to page number 98. Beauty and the Beast, Part 1. Scene 1. Let's read what is written in the brackets. The merchant's house. The merchant is with his grown-up children, Jack, Joseph, George, April, June, and the youngest, Beauty. Beauty, giving her father a cup. Here, father, take this. It's a cup of hot tea. Merchant, thank you, Beauty. You are always so good to me. April, she is only good because she probably wants something from you, father. June, yes, she probably wants that dress I saw in the warehouse the other day. Father, I spoke to you about it and I want it. So don't fall for Beauty's tricks. April, I want one like that too, father. So children, we see that in merchant's house, Jack is there, Joseph is there, George is there, April, June and Beauty is there. And Beauty is the youngest daughter. Beauty is well-mannered and selfless. She loves her family, especially her father, unconditionally, without any conditions. But as you see that April and June are very cunning, and they say that Beauty has given this hot tea because she wants something, but in reality Beauty really cares for her family. Let's continue. June, but the colors won't suit you so well, April. Pink makes me look even more beautiful. Well, most colors suit me, I must say. Jack, you girls. Joseph, yes, always dissatisfied and talking about things you want. April, well, why not? Father is rich. We can afford to buy us anything he likes. Merchant. Yes, I can, girls. But life is not all about buying and owning things. There is much more to it than that. You will be happy if you are good in life, like Beauty here. Beauty. I made you a cup of tea because you looked very. Very means tired. I have enough clothes to wear. Thank you. June. Oh, listen to her. April. Daddy's little pet. June. She is after something. Jack. Leave her alone, you two. Beauty has more sense than both of you put together. There is some commotion outside. Joseph goes towards the door. Commotion means some noisy disturbance. So, children, we see that June and April are very selfish and they run after materialistic things. They think that they are the most beautiful, and because their father is rich, they can buy anything. But Merchant is a sensible man. He tells them that life is not all about buying and owning things. He also says that if we are good in life, we will be happy, so we should be satisfied. Just like Beauty. And Beauty got a cup of tea for her father because her father was tired and not because she wanted something. She said that she has many dresses. Joseph, listen to that row. I wonder what is going on. George, entering in a great hurry. Father, come quick. Merchant, whatever has happened, George? Why in such a hurry? George, come quick, all of you. The warehouse is going up in flames. All your goods will be burned to cinders. Father, cinders mean ashes. Beauty, oh no, poor father. April, oh no, there goes my dress. June, oh no, mine too. Jack, come on, don't just sit there. Let's help put out the fire. Run. So, children, we see that the merchant's warehouse got fire and got destroyed. Now, what is the meaning of a warehouse? A warehouse is a large building where raw materials or manufactured goods can be stored. All right? And as usual, April and June were more concerned about their dresses and not at all concerned about the big loss. Scene 2. A few days later, in the same room, the children are doing various things. Though they are not being industrious, the merchant is looking grave, Beauty is cooking. Industrious means hard working. So they were not working hard, and the merchant is looking grave. Grave means serious, and Beauty is cooking. Merchant, sit down for a minute, all of you. I have some sad news to give you. April, we are all sitting already, father. June, yes, all of us, apart from Beauty. April, well, she has to be different, doesn't she? Jack, talking to April and June. Shh, stop it. Listen to what father has to say. Joseph, yes, come along, Beauty. Let's hear what father has to say. Beauty stops cooking and joins the others. George, Is it about the warehouse, father? Merchant. Yes, it is, George. And there is more bad news too. Beauty. Oh, I am so unhappy about that, father. You've lost the warehouse. What could be worse than that? Merchant. There is much worse news, Beauty. I heard this morning that the ship bringing all my new goods was lost at sea. Beauty. No, how terrible. April. Oh dear, no new dresses. June. No new jewelry. Jack. It sounds like we are in for a troubled time ahead, father. Merchant. Yes, Jack, trouble indeed. Since we have no goods in the warehouse and no goods on the way, we are ruined. Ruined means, children? Destroyed. So now we see that merchant tells his children that the ship that was bringing all his new goods was lost at sea. So, in the first scene, we saw that the warehouse was destroyed due to fire, and now we see that the ship that was bringing all the new goods was lost in the sea. And as usual, April and June are more concerned about their dresses and jewelry, but Beauty is very sad. Let's continue. Joseph. What will you do, father? Merchant. I shall go to find some work, Joseph. There is none here. We will all have to do our share. George. I shall come with you, father. I am ready to find work. Merchant. That's good to hear, George. The others will have to do the same. Jack. I shall leave today, father. I shall come back with riches for all of us. Joseph. And I'll go with Jack. April, pointing to June. We can look after the house, father, while you are away. June. Yes, and Beauty can stay and look after us. And when you return, father, will you bring us some new clothes? April. And some new jewelry? Merchant. Yes, yes, if I return and if I have some money. And what about you, Beauty? What would you like me to bring you? Beauty. I want nothing, father, but your safe return. And if you wish to bring me something, bring a rose. Merchant. That I shall, my beauty. So, children, now we see that the merchant tells his children that he will be going out in search of some job, and Jack and Joseph also decide to go out to find some work. But as usual, April and June were only concerned about new jewelry and new clothes. But Beauty wanted her father to come back safe as soon as possible and only to bring a rose. Scene 3. In a dark forest in the middle of the night. Merchant. Oh dear, I fear we are lost, George. George. I think we are, father. We should never have left the road and taken the track through this forest. Merchant. It's very dark here, isn't it? George. Dark and cold too. I am so tired. I could sleep on the grass right here. Merchant. You may not need to, son. Look, is that a wall ahead of us? George. It is, father. Perhaps there is a house here. Let's search for the entrance. Merchant, here it is. It's not a house, George. It's a castle. Now, children, what is a castle? A castle is a large, strong building built in the past by a ruler or important person to protect the people inside from attack. George, there doesn't seem to be anybody here. I wonder who owns it. Merchant, never mind who owns it. We will be safe in here and can rest for the night. The merchant pushes open a great door and they go inside. George, look, a courtyard and a garden. Now, children, what is a courtyard? A courtyard is an unroofed area that is completely or partially enclosed by walls or buildings, typically one forming part of a castle or large house. Merchant, how beautiful it looks in the moonlight. George, I am going straight to sleep, father. I can hardly stand. Merchant, yes, son, sleep. I shall do so too very soon. So, children, we see that the merchant and George are out in search of a job and they get lost in the forest. They are very tired and it is very cold out, and George is really sleepy. And then they find a castle and they enter the castle, and there they find a beautiful courtyard and a beautiful garden, and George straight away goes off to sleep. Let's continue. Merchant, stopping to smell a rose. Ah, that smells sweet. Picking the rose. At least when we return, I will have a rose for beauty. There is a rumbling growl, and a large figure appears at the other end of the garden. Now, children, the meaning of rumbling is a continuous deep sound, and growl means to make a deep threatening sound. Merchant, I am so sorry. We were lost in the forest and we came into your castle for shelter. Beast, this is my castle. This is my rose. You are a thief, sir. Merchant, I am sorry. I picked just one rose to take back to one of my 3 daughters. Beast, well, for that you will die. Merchant, oh no, please forgive me. Is there no way you will spare me? Spare means, children, to not treat harshly, to treat mercifully or leniently. Beast, well, you say you have 3 daughters? Merchant, yes, I do. Beast, then bring one of them to me to be my wife, and I shall spare your life. Seeing George asleep on the ledge. And who is that? Merchant, it is my son George. He is traveling with me, looking for work, because we are in great difficulty at home. Beast, difficulty? We all have difficulties. I am large and ugly. People call me the beast, but you will be in more difficulty and will die if you do not send one of your daughters, possibly to be my wife. I shall give you a box of treasures to help you, but make sure you return or I will find you. I shall find you. Merchant, yes, yes, I promise. Beast, sir, thank you. The beast departs and returns with a chest full of treasures. Chest means, children, a large strong box typically made of wood and used for storage. Okay? He places it on the floor in the front of the merchant. Beast, now sleep. Go in the morning and do not forget your promise. So, children, here we see that the merchant just picks up one rose, and you remember why he picks up a rose? Yes, he picks it up for beauty. And suddenly a huge figure appears and says, "How dare you have touched my garden? This is my castle. How have you entered here? And now for this you will have to die." So the merchant says sorry and tells him that he has picked just one rose to take back to one of his 3 daughters. But the beast had decided to kill him. But the merchant really apologizes and says sorry. So the beast puts a condition and says that I will spare your life, or I will leave you only if you will send one of your daughters to become my wife. And in return, he gave the merchant a chest full of treasures and said that please don't forget your promise, or he would find the merchant and would kill him. So, with this, Beauty and the Beast part 1 is over. Once we will finish all the exercises, question answers, and reference to context, then we will read Beauty and the Beast part 2. I know you all are interested to know what happens next, but you will have to wait for some time. Alright? So, children, please read the story nicely. Now, let's underline the difficult words. Come to page number 98 and underline warehouse. Page number 99. Underline the word dissatisfied. Next, owning. Next, together. Next, commotion. Come to page number 100 and underline cinders. Underline flames. Underline industrious. Next, grave. Now come to page number 101 and underline jewelry. Now come to page number 102 and underline entrance and castle. Now come to page number 104 and underline rumbling. Next, growl. Next, spare. Now come to page number 105 and underline treasures. Children, you will write the difficult words in your rough register and you will make sentences of the following words. The first word is afford. The second word is spare. The third word is beautiful. The fourth word is search. And the fifth word is jewelry. Now you will make sentences in your rough register. Now children, in the next video, we will be discussing the reference to context, the question answers. Please read the story nicely. Thank you.